Yeah, another highlight from 1 Corinthians. And uh, in a section, really from chapter 8, 9, 10, at the end of chapter 9, there's this kind of little bit of Paul talking about his own approach to life and ministry. Just a really healthy reminder. It kind of jumped out to me as a good nudge for me, thinking through, okay, what does it mean to live in isolation? What does it mean to be social distancing, to have this kind of lockdown, whatever we call it, going on? Paul talks about his own freedom at the end of 9 in verse 19. He says, I'm free from all, but I've made of myself a servant to all, that I might win more of them. And he goes into this contrast between Jews and Gentiles. So with those that are under the law, he would live as one under the law in order to be able to reach them. As with those not under the law, he would live as one not under the law in order to be able to reach them. And the kind of principle that is coming through here is that Paul would do whatever he could, apart from sin, in order to win people for Christ. And that's challenging me right now, because I'm thinking through, okay, well, there's lots of things I can't do. Restricted. It would be wrong to go against government guidelines and do kind of crazy stuff. But what can I do? How can I become as, in order to connect with, in order to point to in these circumstances? I want to become as the people around me. I want to be able to connect with them, and I want to be able to point them to the hope that is only found in Jesus. And so when he gets down to verse 23, or verse 22, sorry, he says, to the weak I became weak, that I might win the weak. I have become all things to all people, that by all means I might save some. I do it all for the sake of the gospel, that I might share with them in its blessings. That's a good thing for us to be thinking about, isn't it? We've got a God who went to such extreme lengths to come down and to become one of us. Right? He literally became one of us in order to win us, to win our hearts, to win our salvation, to bring us into his family. And if we are captured by the heart of Christ, then we will reflect that in our lives too. And so that means thinking through, okay, in this situation, what can I do? Well, I can't travel. I can't do certain things. I can't, be face to face with people in the same way. And there's all sorts of challenges. But what can I do? Because the overriding, driving motivation here is that by all means, I might save some. We can't save everybody, but we want to save some. We want to see people come to know how good God is and all that God has done for us. So something to ponder. What does it mean to be by any means possible, I want to save some kind of a person under these circumstances? If you have any thoughts, you can always comment on the video. You can always share with me or share with somebody else. But more importantly, let's pray that God would use us to point others to his goodness and to his love.